LifeAHolic mom here. And you guys are welcome to just jump in and ask any questions that you choose to about living in another country. So I am Davia, I am your host. Hola! And I live here currently in Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica, and I love it. So again, these conversations are about if you decide that you want to live in another country, like how to go about it, or what do you do, or answering some of the questions that you have. All right? So let me begin. First, I am going to start by saying welcome and gracias para su tiempo. So each of these are 30 minutes. So you guys are free to ask any questions that you want in this 30-minute time span. All right? So let's get into it. Let's get into this. Do I have something on my teeth? Oh, I feel like I have lipstick on my teeth. Ew. All right. So anyway, so again, this is for you guys. It's not for me. I live here. I've lived here for 4.5 years. So if you guys have any questions about living in another country, specifically Costa Rica, you are feel free to ask me. But while I am waiting, oh yay, you love Costa Rica? Yes, you should. Do you live in Costa Rica, or are you visiting Costa Rica? Are you tica? Are you tico? Hello, Sequoia. Yes. So basically, whatever questions you guys have, you are more than welcome to answer. But while I'm waiting for the first question, I am going to answer one of the questions that a lot of people ask me about living abroad, which is, what do you do for work, right? Hey, boo! All right, so we got our first question from, looks like Ruby Envy. We plan to move there. We even have a real estate agent there. Wanna come soon? Okay, well, when did you plan on coming? Ruby, when did you plan on coming? Are you planning on coming this year? You know, the borders are open to basically to the world, and this is a recent development as of Monday. Basically, anybody who wants to come here to Costa Rica is welcome to come. There are a few items on a checklist that you have to fulfill before you actually come. But hello, Christoph. But it is open. So when did you guys actually plan to come here? You got a real estate agent, so it sounds like you're actually gonna be moving here, right? I was gonna ask about the borders. Yes, so as of Monday, they are open, and basically like Costa Rica says, they're open to the world, okay? So while we're waiting, I'm going to go back to the original statement is, people always ask me, what do you do in Costa Rica? What do you do for a living? How are you able to retire? I'm gonna call it early, because I technically am retired. I make my own schedule. I wake up when I want. I go to bed when I want. So I basically make my own schedule, and I kind of, call my own shots. So what I did when I first moved here is I actually taught at a private school in Heredia. But keep in mind, I had zero teaching experience. I never taught, I guess I did, but I never taught in that type of environment before. So I taught, and then when I moved here to Puerto Viejo, sorry guys, I gotta turn on my fan. It is humid. It's hot and it's humid. So I'm gonna turn on my fan. Yes. So basically, when I got here, I was working as a teacher, but I knew that where I wanted to live, which is Puerto Viejo, I wasn't going to be able to find work. So I decided to teach online. So I just switched the in-classroom teaching platform for online teaching platform. So that's kind of what I did. And that's kind of what I do for a living now. I also have a small business where I do tax preparation and things like that, but what I do on a daily basis is surrounded around teaching. All right. 1 or 2 month scouting trip in the spring. Oh, absolutely. I would totally recommend, before you actually move here, that you definitely come here, see what it's like, see what the weather is like, see what the environment is like, see what the people are like, before you actually pack up your family and move here. Before I actually moved, I came here, I want to say 5 to 6 times. 5 to 6 times before I actually moved here. So that was pretty good for me. I said, you know, after that 5th or 6th trip, I was like, okay, done, finished. Okay, great, it's done. That's where I'm gonna live. So, all right, Ruby Envy. Is it hard to get residency? My family, mom, husband. Actually, I'm gonna say no. Whatever method that you choose to get residency, in my opinion, I'm going to give you the 2 scenarios. One scenario is that you can hire an attorney or, you know, someone to help you through the process. In my opinion, it's not that expensive. The range of quotes that I was getting for my residency were between, sorry, turn up my volume all the way. The range of quotes that I was getting was between $1,800 and $2,500 per person, including children, to get your residency. So that's the kind of quotes I was looking at. So I decided to do it on my own. I basically got a checklist of all the items that I would need to get my residency. I just followed the instructions on what I needed to bring, or excuse me, what I need to get from the United States, brought those things. I went down to immigration, didn't have an appointment, walked in there, handed them all the documents that they had on their checklist, and I got my temporary residency. I was gonna show you what that looks like, the same day. So let me repeat. I went and got my temporary residency and in Limon at immigration the same day. So those are the 2 options. You can pay someone, or you can do what I did and go off of the checklist and take it in there. They'll give you a temporary number, and you use that number so that you don't have to leave Costa Rica every 90 days. Yep. So it is definitely possible, but if you're not confident that you can do that, or you feel like you're going to botch it, or you're going to mess it up, then you can just hire an attorney and they'll do it for you. So basically the bottom line is, it's not difficult, it's a long process, between 2 to 6 years from beginning to end. Yep. So, all right, Mr. or Mrs. Jones, let's see if I have any next question. I finally have a new plan on doing a one. Yeah. So we answered that, residency. All right, going that route, what was the cost? I'm going to assume that question was about the attorney, or what was the cost for what, if you don't mind. Kayan Reed, can you tell me when it says going that route, what was the cost? Do you mean for an attorney or what? So while I'm waiting for clarification, does anybody else have any other questions regarding residency, cost of living, resident? Yeah, so what I was saying is that the cost per person is anywhere between $1,800 and $2,500 per person to get your residency with an attorney. I'm not sure you were saying that route. Oh, on your own, sorry. All right, so for me, it was $750 per person. So I was myself and 2 young girls. The age doesn't matter. So to do it on your own, just to clarify, it cost me $750 per person. $750 per person, all right? To get your residency. And again, for the attorney, it was about $1,800 to $2,500 per person. And the time, to be very honest, the time is exactly the same. So to basically, hire an attorney to start your residency process here, and you doing it on your own, you have the exact same start date. So like if you were to walk into an attorney's office and hand him your documents and he files it, it's the same process. The only difference, and I want to be clear, is the attorney speaks fluent Spanish, obviously. They understand legal jargon. They have a record of address so that immigration can send them the mail directly. So there are many, many benefits to getting your residency through an attorney. Me personally, I didn't have the funds to hire an attorney. So I had to do it myself. And what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. I invented a way for me to do it on my own because it was necessary for me to have it, but I couldn't spend like $6,000, just to get my process started so I could stay in Costa Rica. So that was my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, Ruby NV, why did you choose Puerto Viejo? That's a very good question. It's kind of a long story, so I'm going to give you the short answer of that. It was by mistake. Our original trip was to the Pacific side because Costa Rica really pushes the Pacific side. They don't really push Puerto Viejo or the Caribbean side. Why? So, if you go online and you don't know about Costa Rica and about their Afro, Caribbean culture, their Afro-Latina culture, if you don't know about Limon and Talamanca and Puerto Viejo and Manzanillo, you're gonna go to the Pacific side because you have no reference. You know what I'm saying? So they're really pushing, you just have no reference. You don't know this from that. So this will be your first trip. But all of the advertising and everything is geared towards sending you to Jaco or Tamarindo or Guanacaste because there's not very many people that look like us over there, right? So they're like steering people away. So the reason why I chose Puerto Viejo was because my friend and sister basically booked the trip for us for Tamarindo, right? So I was I wasn't involved in it because I was working, I didn't have time. So I was like, you plan it and I'm rolling. Whenever you go and say the word, then we'll go. I looked at that hotel and I was looking at the photos. I was like, I don't really want to hang out with these kind of people. Like, we're you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to hang out with these folks. So we literally canceled our reservation for the Pacific side. And then I got on the internet and I was like, we're going to this place right here. These are some brown people. They look like me. So let's go where they're at. And then we'll just see. Hopefully it's going to be a good trip. And if it's not a good trip, then we'll come over here to the Pacific side. But I was like, I don't think I'll be vibing right with these people over here because we probably have nothing in common, right? But I have a lot in common with the people of Puerto Viejo. So that's why I chose Puerto Viejo. One, everybody looked like me. People talk like me. They ate the kind of food that I ate. There's a lot of Rastas here, reggae, Bob Marley vibe. But then there's also regular people too, because I'm a regular professional. So I had the best of both worlds. It's the best of both worlds. So, all right, what's our next question? Word, I love that. And they'll always say the crime is so high. The crime is high in Puerto Viejo, Cayenne. Okay, let me just be frank with you. I don't know the race of you guys because I can't see your picture, but wherever there seems like there's black people, there's always this story, like it's unsafe, the crime is high, the people, but I have not found a more loving, kind, genuine, amazing group of people in my life, including Los Angeles, California, where I'm from. I feel like Puerto Viejo is my home. These people have embraced me. The crime is not, I haven't had any, somebody stole my bike. I didn't live here at the time, I was a tourist. Thanks, Kay. So somebody stole my bike. That was the first crime in almost 5 years that I experienced. So, and also to me, the crime is not, how do I say this? The crime is not really geared to people that look like me. So here is kind of the reverse. You got protection because you don't really know whose family this woman is in. That could be the cousin of somebody else's cousin, whose uncle. You just don't know. So everybody's very careful. But when people greet me here, it's by a few names. Hey queen, love it. Hola reina, hola queen, love it. Hola sister, strangers. Hola Rasta. So that's how I'm greeted on a day-to-day basis. So just imagine when I was in LA, trust me, that is not the greeting I would get on a daily basis. So those negative, words coming at you, they start to wear on you. They really do. They really start to wear on you. But just imagine you come to a place where everybody thinks you're a queen, where everybody loves you, where everybody wants you around. Like, it was just like the reverse. So for me, that's another reason why I picked Puerto Viejo, because a lot of people look like me. I hope that answered your question, Kay. And you're absolutely right, Kay. It's not true. If you measure the crime rate per capita, like per population, like Puerto Viejo, all of our beach towns, it's a small population. So if they were saying like, oh, there were 10 crimes, no murders. Don't get me wrong, there's no murders. It's like crimes, like theft, right? I'm not saying no murders, I take it back. Somebody got murdered last year. So I guess that was a murder. But long story short, if you have 1,000 people in your community and there were 100 crimes, that means you have a 10% crime rate. But if you have 10,000 people, like the Pacific side, and you have 100 crimes, of course your crime rate is going to be lower because you got 10,000 people, so you can, you know what I mean? It's going to be 1% as opposed to 10%. So that's how they kind of tweak those numbers to try to keep people from experiencing paradise. But once people experience paradise, they never look back. They were like, oh, okay, this is a game being played. It's a political game. And around the world, we seem to be at the end of all of these, things that people say, like, oh, it's dangerous over on the Caribbean side. Why is it dangerous? It's dangerous because people look like me, or is the crime rate higher? Let's get the facts. Okay, the fact is the crime rate is actually lower. It's lower. But when you report these things, you try to discourage people. But once people come over here, they don't even go back to the Pacific side. Hello, Mr. Armstrong. Hello. Same thing they do. Exactly. So if you fudge the numbers, what a huge influx, so even they tell me worse. Well, Ruby, you know what? To be very honest, I used to be like, the more people you tell about paradise, the more people that are going to try to come, right? So I'm like, I don't try to keep it on the down low. Like, I'm shooting from the rooftops, and I'm like, if you want to escape your, not even escape, but if you're tired of being sick and tired, I say give it a try and see if it's for you. All of my friends here, I call them my family. We never look back. We moved here and none of us has left since, because that's funny. My friends go there a lot. They don't want a huge influx, so even they tell me horror stories. That's funny. Well, you know what? That's quite funny. That's quite funny. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's getting kind of crazy here. It really is. They just opened the borders up. So now, like you said, there's gonna be a huge influx of people. That's good and bad. One, if you're worried about like, the coronavirus spread. A lot of people here, we feel like we're doing really good with containing things and work. Yeah, woo! So I have someone that I've been talking to on Facebook and here and again, and she's actually moving to Costa Rica, and she's on this call. So hello, my darling. I won't say your name because I don't know if you want everybody to know your name. But anyway, so she's been doing the research and putting in the work, and now she's finally moving to Costa Rica with her daughter. So that's pretty bold. And she's out of here. She's been asking questions since probably like April or May. So she's gotten all the answers that she needed. She is leaving the USA. It's a wrap. She's done. So congratulations. She just said that she shared it with her father. So kudos to you. I'm very, very happy for you. I won't say your name, but you know who you are. You know who you are. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. All right, so next question. Share it with my dad. Yes. How's the food? Mr. Armstrong, how's the food? Like, that's a broad question, but I think I can answer that. I love the food because it's fresh, it's natural, doesn't have any GMO, it's non-processed. So most of the food that we eat here in Puerto Viejo is like fresh. We go to the fishermen during the week, we grab us some fish, fresh fish, like straight from the sea. It doesn't have all this poisoning and stuff that you get from the oceans in the States. So I would say the food is excellent because it's fresh and it's straight from the source. Hardly anything is processed unless you want it to be. There are processed options, but most people move here to have a pura vida life. Pura vida meaning pure life. They move here to have a pura vida life. So why would you come here and then pollute your body with all these toxins and all these crazy things when your goal was to basically cleanse your soul and just kind of push the reset button on your life. And part of pushing the reset button on your life is good health, right? So we all came here with the expectation that we would change our life in a positive way by the things that we eat, by our atmosphere, by having a stress-free lifestyle, having that ocean breeze, in your face, salt air on your skin. We came here for that. So we try not to poison ourselves with processed food. So most of the people that I know, the people in my circle, this is fresh. So that's the answer to your question, I hope. The food is fresh. That's the answer, Mr. Armstrong. We've only been to the Pacific side, but our next trip, we're coming to Puerto Viejo, hopefully next year. All right, well, again, we would love to see you, and we're here, And if you come each week and you can just ask your questions here and there, but again, the media, the websites, everybody pushes for people to go on the Pacific side as though they're going to have some magical experience over there. So my job is to push for the Caribbean side. So me and my friends are pushing for this side because it's beautiful, it's natural, it's pure, the people are amazing, the food is amazing. So we're pushing for Puerto Viejo. We're pushing for the Rastas, we're pushing for Bob Marley, we're pushing for the melanated people. That's what we're pushing for. Oh yes, and gallo pinto, oh. Well, I gotta stop eating beans and rice. Let me tell you, y'all, I was looking real slim and trim. Then I started eating all these rice and beans, y'all. Arroz con pollo, gallo pinto, rice and beans. So I had to cut out them beans, y'all. I had to cut out the beans and I had to cut out the rice. So now I'm back, Now I'm back, fit and slim. All right, we got 4 minutes left. Does anybody have a question? Let me see. What are 2 things that someone should absolutely bring with them from home? And in terms of relocation, right? Not for vacation. I think you said your name was Kay. If you're talking about, excuse me, I have something in my throat. 1 second. I had a little bug in my throat. Anyway, I'm going to assume, Kay, that you're saying What are the 2 things that someone should absolutely bring with them when they're going to relocate or expatriate from their home country? Let me see. What do I need? What do I need? What do I have to have? Ooh, okay, I got it. I got you. Your electronics. Everything that I have here in my little office, all of my equipment, all of my, I'm just gonna show you my little setup I got here. But all of this, all of that, including my laptop over there, everything came from the States. All my camera stands, camera mics, batteries, my actual microphones, everything you could possibly think of came from the States. The electronics here are so expensive. You hear me? Super, super expensive. So that's one thing. Number 2, don't judge me, y'all, but I had to bring my spices. I had to bring my Laura's. Don't judge me. Okay, so I had to bring my spices, y'all. I had to bring my garlic salt. I had to bring my garlic powder. I had to bring my smoked paprika. I had to have a real Lawry's, not the Bedia brand or whatever. All right, y'all must think I'm crazy. So it was my spices and my electronics. So those are the 2 things that I cannot live without, that are not available to me in Costa Rica. I'm not saying Costa Rica doesn't have spices, because obviously they do. The spices I need to make the things that I like, I had to bring with me. So I hope that answers your question. Woo-wee, of course, the hot sauce, baby. Oh yeah, the Red Rooster, had to bring my hot sauces in. I mean, you know, this is pretty lame, but I'm telling you the truth. You asked me, what are the 2 things, girl, what did you have to have? All my electronics, my Mac products, got to have the Mac products, and my spices. That's it. Don't judge me. Again, don't you judge me. I see y'all with them judging eyes. But yes, so those are the 2 things. Yes, relocation. All right, so next question. Who has another question? A lot of money. LOL, I have that printer. Yes, for the HP 3755, baby. It's portable, it's easy to put in a suitcase, so when you need to bring it to Costa Rica, everybody get you an HP 3755 inkjet 3-in-1 desk printer. I'm not no sponsor for HP, but what I am is a big proponent of having everything you need in a tiny little compact space. No, you don't need a lot of money to live here, Greg. Absolutely not. I had not a lot of money. I had a decent job, so I was able to save. But remember, I had 2 young kids. I had 2 5-year-old twins that I brought with me. So when you have 2 5-year-olds, of any of you guys who have kids, you know that you got to have money. You can't, you know. So you don't need a lot of money to move here. That's a big myth. All right, I have the wire. You guys are funny. So Greg has the wireless printer. Kay has the wireless printer. May I ask, does anybody else on this call have the HP PhotoJet 3755 printer? Going once, going twice. And all right. So that's me. Even when I travel, yes, I bring my whole everything. I got my little microphone. So when I'm doing my little podcast, everything I need right here with me, right here with your girl. All right. Are there 1,000 yoga teachers? So somebody just asked a question. Are there 1,000 yoga teachers in Puerto Viejo? I'm going to say there's 1,001. Everybody's a certified yoga teacher. I'm like, how do you tell the difference? I'm like, you a yoga teacher, you a yoga teacher, you a yoga teacher, you're a yoga teacher. So, but that absolutely, there's a lot of yoga teachers here. So if you're coming here with that career in mind, that's what I'm saying. If you're coming to here and you want yoga classes to help sustain you, I am here to tell you that everybody, even the people who work at the supermarket, hustle on the side as yoga teachers. I'm like, you just cussed me out. How are you a yoga teacher? You just almost ran me over on your bike. And you a yogi? You a yoga teacher? I just must be practicing your namaste and your zen and all that stuff. You just almost murdered me. Anyway, yes, so if that's on your mind as a career opportunity, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying the competition is pretty steep. And for the really good, serious yoga teachers that aren't just coming here like, blah, blah, you know, those are the people that I go to. They've been in practice 10, 15, 20 years. They're not losing their clients. So the competition is either really, really established yoga teachers that everybody goes to, and then the young ones that are up and coming trying to make it. So I hope that helped. All right, guys, thank you so much. Our 30 minutes is up. I do appreciate listening to all of your questions, and I hope I answered a lot of your questions. Join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And at that time, you can ask Mama. Mama would be me. And you could just ask whatever questions that you have about the cost of living, education, just daily living, like whatever you need. Just go ahead and just shoot me those questions and I'll be happy to answer. Ciao, buenos noches y pura vida. Ciao. You're very welcome, guys. Ciao, ciao. Maybe I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share.